This is a presentation about the ocean being a soup. By Mr. Morsain. As always presented by the Nihilian Sanctum. High quality cooking of Samuel the Flora Eradicator. Because Sunny, wherever you are getting cooked today. First of all, I want to let you guys know about the definition of soup. What is a soup? The definition of soup. A soup is a primary liquid food made by combining ingredients such as meat, seafood, vegetables, grains, or legumes, with a liquid base like stock, broth, milk, or water. Soup is the main generic term for liquid savory dishes. Others include broth, bisque, consommé, pottage, and many more. The key characteristics of a soup is the preparation, first and foremost. Soup is made by boiling or simmering ingredients in liquid to extract and blend their flavors. We'll get to that. Serving temperature, typically served warm or hot, though cold soups like gazpacho or vichyssoise are common variations. The classification generally divided into two main categories. We have clear soups, light thin liquids such as bouillons, broths, and consommes. Basically, ramen broth does fall into this category. And then we have thick soups, opaque, heavier liquids thickened using puree, roux, cream, butter, starches like bisques, chowders, and veloutés. This is the baseline of soup. This is basically what soup is. So, for cold soups, we have the South Korean Oi Nanenguk. I hope that I pronounced it right. If any South Koreans are watching this, I apologize so much for butchering your beautiful language. It's a South Korean chilled soup that's as invigorating... Oh boy. Okay, hold on. Cold soups, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone above and below. A South Korean chilled soup that's as invigorating as it is flavorful. The word oi stands for cucumber, while naenguk refers to cold soups, painting a clear image of what's to come. In one variation of the soup, the juicy crunch of cucumbers is beautifully offset by the soft, slightly slimy miyok, a type of sea vegetable more commonly known by its Japanese name, wakame. Can't find wakame? No worries, just toss in more cucumbers instead. Then we have the Spanish gazpacho, a beloved dish made to a 500-year-old recipe. Chilled gazpacho soup is no longer just a seasonal regional delicacy, but a major national and natural resource with ever-growing export potential. It is made from blended raw vegetables, primary tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, garlic, and olive oil, and it is eaten chilled as well. And then we have the Greek kakavia. For those who don't know what kakavia is, it is basically one of the oldest known Greek fish soups. Originally cooked by fishermen directly on their boats. They simmered the daily unsellable catch in a pot, which was called kakavi, hence the name, using seawater combined with olive oil, onions, and whatever vegetables were on hand. Sometimes they also did use kelp as well. It is said that the fishermen also used to add a small amount of seawater to the soup. Obviously, kakavia, the soup, is made with seawater as the base. The name of the dish stems from kakavi, the pot in which it was traditionally cooked in. Modern interpretations of the dish don't necessarily use the smallest and the cheapest fish varieties, as it was done in the early days, but the recipes are still versatile, and many even include shellfish, crustaceans, different herbs, and vegetables such as tomatoes, carrots, or celery. The use of seawater as a base. This actually happened. Traditionally, the use of seawater as a base was also done due to the concentration of salts, which, as you know, is important for the body. During long sea voyages from the age of sail through 19th century, fresh water was strictly rationed for drinking. Sailors regularly boiled salt pork, shipped biscuits, or fish in seawater to stretch the freshwater supply. Obviously, when you're in a boat on the 20th century, in the 19th century, which is even worse, the reservoirs for fresh water are limited. In the 19th century, during long travels by boat, the freshwater reservoirs for drinking and things are very, very limited, which means that you need to stretch it as much as you can. There is also the Italian acquacotta traditions. Acquacotta means drinking, means cooked water in Italian. While modern acquacotta relies on fresh water, coastal and island variations in Etruscan and Mediterranean history involved boiling local herbs, lard or olive oil, and stale bread in seawater, which again, the seawater has been used as a base traditionally. There is also the Spanish coastal calderos, fishermen's rice stews and broths along the Spanish coast, such as in Alicante or the Canary Islands, traditionally incorporated diluted seawater as the primary seasoning agent for broth bases. So, as we can see, we have cold soups, we have the situation of what is a soup, and we do know that the seawater has been used as a base traditionally. We do have the fact that cold soups exist. We also have the fact that cold soups with the seawater as base does exist. We do have the definition of soup, and now we are going into the edible sea life. So, an exact percentage does not exist in scientific literature, because edibility depends almost entirely on parasite treatment, chemical toxins, and biological structure rather than species identity alone. Looking strictly at biologically edible marine species, excluding toxic creatures like pufferfish or sea snakes, obviously, about 90 to 95% of edible marine species can be eaten raw, provided they are properly frozen first to destroy parasites or harvested from pathogen-free environments. And obviously we have that about 5 to 10% of edible marine species must strictly be cooked for structural, chemical, or safety reasons. The ocean is a soup case. All comes down to this. First of all, we have the liquid base, which traditionally the ocean is seasoned with a roughly 3.5% concentration of dissolved minerals and salts. A salinity level very close to a well-seasoned culinary broth. Having said that, I also need to say that we did see earlier that seawater outright has been used traditionally for a base. The ingredients, by the way, the ocean is packed with solid ingredients, including seaweed, kelp, plankton, crustaceans, mollusks, and fish. About 90% of them can be eaten raw, provided that they are from a pathogen-free location, obviously. Over 90% of the marine life floating in this salted base is structurally edible raw. The small percentage that requires cooking, like crabs and lobsters, simply acts as raw garnish that is awaiting heat. And the temperature, like gazpacho, like nanyuk, like kakavia, establish that heating is not required for a dish to be considered a soup. The ocean, therefore, is just a very cold soup averaging about 4 degrees Celsius or 39 degrees Fahrenheit if you're American. Are we clear? Do we understand this? Because I do think that we do. The ocean, therefore, statistically, is considered to be a very cold soup. Yes, I am going there. I always considered the ocean to be a soup, and I made a presentation to prove this. Statistically, the fact though, and this is where it gets good, I don't only want to stay at the scientific situations. Arguably, the thing that is the most important here is the whimsy. Is the most important ingredient here. Because this is important, I do want you guys to understand this. The whimsy is the most important ingredient. What is whimsy? Whimsy is a quality of being playful, quaint, or fanciful, often characterized by light-hearted eccentricity, but also, and a bit more on a personal note, personal as to me, as Mr. Morsain, the ability of a human to rise up against adversity by recognizing the actual magic of this world. Examples of whimsy, in my opinion again, are sitting on the grass, admiring the sunlight dancing on the trees, taking time to slow down and actually smell the flowers for once. When the world moves fast and you just choose to take a breath, breathe in and breathe out. And see the flowers and just smell them, just for once, you know. And another example would be refusing to step in mushroom circles, but feeling that sparkly inside because a fairy might actually be close by, even though you know it's a fairy tale. I do find this to be whimsical, in my opinion, and it goes even deeper than that. These are basically my personal notes in regards to this. I do consider that this world is filled with magic, but this world's magic is not creating fire from thin air, or moving things with your mind like TV shows or other kinds of media have shown you. In my opinion, it is in the way that a simple look from another person might make your day. It is in the way the leaves of the trees dance happily in the first summer breeze. The smile of a stranger or an act of kindness that reminds us that you are indeed human. Think of the first time you breathed fresh air after reaching your vacation home. The moment that you noticed a little ladybug signaling the beginning of spring. The way time moves and how seasons change. Take a moment to appreciate the little things. How, yeah, the sun might be scorching here in Greece, for example, on midday, but in the afternoon, you can definitely enjoy the little summer breeze that seems to be flowing through the trees. In the end, so what if the ocean is a soup? What if it isn't? You know, what matters is how we choose to see this world, in my opinion. How we choose to spend our days, and how we choose to interact with our own environments. I mean, yeah, rage baiting is fun sometimes. I've done it myself more than once, but this goes deeper than that. Is this all there is? In my opinion, this world is hellbent on carving out the heart you humans possess and reduce everything to ashes and dust. The way I see it though, simply by deciding, in your head, in your heart maybe, that the ocean is a soup, for example. Something silly, it doesn't even have to make sense. This is a call to rise up against this darkness, a reminder that better days are coming, and that inside me, personally, inside all of you, there is a never-ending summer that no winter can snuff out. No matter the adversities, no matter the hardship, we all have the ability to just be kind and pass it on like a torch in the storm. So I come here and ask you, you Void Servants, you people of the Sanctum, and newcomers, people who will see this video in the future, people who have already seen it in the past, I don't know. Does it even matter anymore? Does it even matter if the ocean is a soup or not? What if it is? What if the ocean is actually a soup? What if the ocean just isn't? By technical meaning, or you just decide that it's not. What I think that matters is that you don't let this world crush your sense of whimsy. To be able to understand how this world's magic works, what you consider to be magic, what anyone could consider to be magic, even the smallest things in life. Think about this for a minute, and maybe then you can decide for yourself if the ocean is indeed a soup or not. Because for me, as I said, I do believe that inside each and every one of us there is this never-ending summer, and we should all be trying our best to protect this as much as we can. As much as we can. Like, we all have the ability to just be kind. And I am sure that even in the darkest nights, even in the darkest nights, even in your hardest day, the days that you've been alone, for example, and that you maybe, I don't know, decide on a whim to start a VTubing channel and find people who are like you, who would like to chill in a space that accepts them for who they are, and maybe even find kindred spirits, people who feel the same as you about things. And maybe even then, even in your hardest days, you can just decide in your heart that the ocean is a soup. And it's a cold soup. And it's a hot soup. It's a refreshing soup. A soup that will give you what you need to survive this winter that you're going through. And just choose to be kind. And pass on this kindness like a torch in the storm. Yeah. I may need a moment. There we go.